11:03, May 3rd, 2019. I just finished cutting and moving all of the grass from the yard, as you probably can see, to the corner of the yard, where I pile it up all along with my previously accumulated pile of compost. I just finished doing all that. The yard has no more grass or weed, and all of that, along with my little pile of compost that used to be here, is now moved to this corner, put on top of one another, layer after layer of the dirt and wood stove ash and kitchen scraps and wood chips that I collected from my chopping my firewood. One layer of that, another layer of weed and grass, and so on and so forth. I am thinking, and I'm kind of believing, that this is going to turn into a very, very rich compost over a period of maybe 1 or 2 years. The entire yard was covered with 1 meter tall weeds and grass, but the entirety of that is now moved to this corner, and like I said, I believe I will have very good compost in a few years. It was a boring task. Cutting all the weed and moving them to this corner, and then shoveling what used to be here, the pile of compost that I had already, to that corner. Now I found that to do a very tedious, boring task, you could reduce how boring that is by doing some other even more boring task along with that one. And what I did was shoveling and carrying soil from here, the end of the yard, and spreading it around my building, which I needed some soil over there for later when I will be planting ivies to grow on the walls of my cottage. This also was a very boring and tedious task. So what I did was combining this tedious task with that tedious task. I did that for a few minutes, and then I would do this for a few minutes, and then I would go back to the tedious task of cutting weed from the yard, and then I would go to the tedious task of shoveling soil on top of that weed over there, and then back to the first one. Combining 3 very boring and tedious tasks together actually allowed me and rendered me capable of performing all of those in over the course of 3 days, which was quite an accomplishment for me. I now have a wonderful compost over there. It's going to be enriching my flower bed and vegetable garden, and hopefully the future autumn vegetable garden that I will be putting here. My blackberry or raspberry, whatever you want to call it, plant is growing vigorously. This is what I moved here couple years ago, and it's turning into this young, healthy plant. This is what I put here to practice my shooting, a good backstop for my 22 rimfire bullets. And this I put here just to prevent any bullets flying over the target. I zeroed the horizontal turret of my rifle using the lousy bullets that I had. As you can see, they all landed here, right about the center of the vertical line, because of the cartridges being very lousy and old. I couldn't do the I adjusted the windage turret, but I couldn't adjust the elevation turret. I'm waiting for better quality bullets to adjust the elevation turret and hit the target here. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for ammunition and 22 cartridges, I took care of quite a lot of things in the property, and I was actually very, very productive during this period. Flowers are growing vigorously, flower plants, and I'm pretty satisfied with the way things are going right now here. Thank you for watching.